Spawning to the bottom right hand side of the map, we are going to be seeing our blue Terran player from Millenium. Let's hear it, guys, if you're going to be cheering on Millenium and Daishi. And to the bottom left, our yellow Terran player. It's kind of funny, the players right now are in EURONICS colours. Yellow and blue making up that EURONIC logo, as you can see on this little emblem here spinning around. To the bottom left hand side is going to be from EURONICS Gaming, his debut in the SC2ITL Season 6. It is Sheik, the yellow Terran player. Can he cause what would be a little bit of an upset? Millenium have definitely experienced some upsets this season, losing to Rake from EC Visualize. Got all killed by him way back when. I remember Marine Lord lost in one of the first matches of the season against Mulu. Terran player as well from Nuit Blanche. Strong player, but was still a little bit of an upset back then. And as we see an SCV just coming across the map here from Daishi. Just a scout early on, so early build orders are slightly different from either player. Gas first from Sheik is going to give him that little bit of extra gas to work with, so most likely at some point here a faster factory. Now, there's a couple of ways you can do this. If he goes Reaper, he could still expand, and he'll still just end up with kind of an expansion kind of a couple of seconds later or so, and just a slightly, but a slightly faster factory. But what he's going to do is put that factory straight down, so he's not going to expand here straight away. And we'll keep an eye out for that second gas being taken most likely in the near future. Now, Daishi, he is just going to expand himself. He's actually going to keep his gas, though. He's just going to make Marines, and he's going to probably just put down his own factory here for defensive purposes. So, Daishi with the single Marine to open with, expanded on the low ground. As we see Sheik getting a Marine out, but Daishi's SCV is able to run away, is able to pull off, and is it going to be able to get back home as well? Well, it's going to get very close to that Marine, but it will just about make it away, and it is going to head over to the bottom right hand side of the map, head back home. Barrack's going to start up a reactor here, so reactor's starting on up. And as we're just going to be seeing the natural CC continue to build, and of course it is all going to be about this aggression out of Sheik. I mean, Widow Mine on the way, so it's going to be a Widow Mine drop to begin with, and of course he's really looking to get some damage done here in the very near future. Ken044, thank you very much for your 4-month free sub. Appreciate it. Thank you very much for the continued support, and welcome back for another month of us here on the channel. Let's see some SJ hearts in the chat, please, everyone. And as we have this starboard about to finish, so that's what we're kind of keeping our eyes on here. Again, that expansion about to finish from Daishi, and he's going into a tech lab on the factory, which, from my point of view, is a pretty standard way to be able to just defend against most types of aggression here. He's going to get the Cyclone out, and the Cyclone is just so good at dealing with pretty much anything. I mean, you look at it, it's like, it can shut down Medivacs, Banshee play, it can turn it around, even kind of drops in general. It does some pretty decent damage, as long as you don't let it kind of get DPS down too quickly. So, let's see how this goes. We're going to see the Cyclone coming in. I mean, again, Daishi all about this defense. If he survives without taking any damage, then he's immediately going to be in a great position. As he scans, he's going to see that command center coming down. He'll also see that tech lab open for the starport to go onto, ready for that Cloak Banshee follow-up, just in case Sheik doesn't get damaged under this first attack. He's going to then rely on the Cloak Banshee harassment to try and just get those few extra work kills and to keep him in this game. As we see the medevac coming in towards the main base, but just look how many Marines there are already. That medevac is just gonna have to try and boost into a different location. Widow Mine will probably unload and try and burrow here somewhere. Cyclone locks on, and that Widow Mine is gonna go down though, and so this is not the best of starts for Sheik. Takes down an SCV and a mule, but that's about it for now, and well, actually does some damage onto that medevac as well, so he has to be a little bit careful about that. And we're just gonna be seeing the Banshee, the Cyclone here, just continue to kind of have a little bit of a look to see what is what's happening. Raven on the way up then from Daishi, so I mean he's already scanned the potential for Cloak Banshee, and so he's just preparing to deal with the kind of next phase of this game out of Sheik. He's just preparing to go up against these Banshees, and I mean he's very well prepared to play against it, as we're going to see an Engineering Bay being added on as well, so just making sure he's going to have everything he needs to defend here. He'll also be able to start up his +1 upgrade, as we see him looking in the near future to probably going towards a stim pack and so on as well. So this rack's probably going to land onto the reactor, and this rack's onto the tech lab for a stim pack. So Daishi just getting in towards his mid-game. We're going to see the starport actually go onto the reactor. Nope, that's not the way he wanted to do things. Starport goes onto the reactor, and the starport here obviously going to be looking for a couple of Vikings just to try and help with the kind of anti-air sort of situation right now. And we're going to see the Raven fighting against these Marines. Sheik, that's not how you want to control this, unfortunately, buddy. That is definitely not how you want to control this at all. I'm just going to see Marines continue to come towards the center of the map here, joining up together. There's a siege tank on the way across to the right-hand side as well. I'm just going to be seeing that medevac from Sheik just going to be coming in, unloading, and let's see how this continues. The Marines unloading, and again, Sheik getting ready to go towards the frontier, coming up this natural ramp perhaps in the next couple of moments. I'm just going to see the Cyclone moving forwards, and actually going to look onto the Banshee straight away. Banshee could have cloaked up to get out of that, but killing the Cyclone works as well. Sheik, with a little bit of a lead in army supply right now, pushes forwards. That Banshee going to be important as we see SCVs immediately pulled into this. Auto turret as well from the Raven. We do see the medevac going down, and so Sheik loses a lot of workers. But actually, look at this. Sheik gets away with so much. For killing 11 workers, the fact he's going to get away with his siege tank and so many of these Marines is actually pretty incredible. And in fact, it's so important because obviously Sheik would, had to do some damage here. If he didn't do some damage, he was going to be in a little bit of trouble because he was really far behind workers. So this push gets the damage done, but I mean, look at this. I mean, we see Daishi actually down equal on workers, and Sheik gets out of here with his army, and so he keeps a pretty good kind of position in this game just in general. As we're going to be seeing a few more Marines once again going towards the center of the map, and Sheik is going to keep up the aggression apparently. Don't know how much he can really do here as we see those couple of tanks, these Marines, and the few medevacs overhead. And actually Daishi, well, he's kind of loading up ready for his aggression now, going across the map with 2 tanks, 2 and 8 Marines and the 2 medevacs. As we are going to see Sheik completely out of position to deal with this. I feel as though this attack now from Sheik, this movement on the map, does not really make a whole lot of sense as we see Banshee coming in. Another 2 workers killed, just backing away once more. But here comes this drop into the main base, and Sheik doesn't really have anything to deal with this in position. I mean, this is the first real time Daishi's been aggressive all game long, and he's immediately going to go start getting a lot of damage done. We see those few Marines in this tank coming in, and actually Sheik just going to type out GG right there. Sort of TVT map, honestly, a map where so much different stuff can happen as we kick things off into this series. To the top left hand side. Down a game now in this best of 7 for EURONICS Gaming. It is going to be our Blue Terran player. I know a few of you guys wanted to see him come out and play, so here he is. It's the Muslim. And the one right, our red Terran player from Millenium. He took game number 1. Can he put Millenium off to a fantastic start and a 2-0 lead? Let's find out. He is Daishi to the bottom right hand side. As we see gas first opening from both players here right from the get-go. So gas first to start us off. And we'll see gas racks. As obviously the opening, I mean, if it's gas first, we're going to see gas racks, so no real surprises here just yet. Now, let's talk a little bit about the Muslim. 10-1 this season. The only time he lost this season was against Millenium, when he played against Lilbo on Elrena. His free axe proxy did not work out for him, if I'm not mistaken. So, can he kind of, get himself a little bit further up that player ranking today? Can he take down Daishi in the TVT? Again, he's been looking, I'd say he looked very confident throughout the Team League season. He also looked very good at the recent Home Story Cup, of course, as well. He played pretty darn well over there. And he took maps off Nurture, for example, so yeah, intrigued to see how this goes. I love this already, kind of walling off to the left-hand side, and this is going to block the Reaper's ability to kind of jump up in this location here now. It might not have much of an effect on this game because Daishi doesn't go for Reaper, but it is still a nice little move just to make defending things a little bit easier, as we're going to see this SCV from Daishi just has a scout around, and that's going to be one of the major differences between both players so far, the fact that Daishi has decided to scout and the Muslim has not. The Muslim's build obviously going to be kind of built towards or designed to kind of just be able to deal with anything that actually comes his way. He's not really going to be worried about certain builds or anything because whatever he builds is just going to be ready to defend and deal with anything. And that's the general kind of mindset that he's given off here, as we see so far. Pretty much just mirrored build orders. We're going to see the Hellion on the way from both. Starport begins, and still only 1 gas from both players too, so I wonder if there's going to be a Marine Hellion elevator play from both initially. Just going 1 gas for this long could definitely suggest something like continued Hellion production and a medevac coming out. There's the Muslim going to drop down a command center, and well, that's why we're starting to see a bit of a difference here. Daishi is nowhere near affording the command center, so the Muslim begins to expand, and Daishi will start up a second Hellion, will go into this second gas as well. The Muslim's still only on 1 gas as he goes into his starport. He goes into Widow Mine now too. And so this really is going to be the Muslim taking on the kind of defender's position in this game. Now he goes second gas. He's also going to go medevac too though. So both players going sort of for this medevac play, but it's going to be the Muslim who might be in just a little bit more trouble than his opponent. I mean, 3 Hellions and well, it's going to be a similar number of Marines, but it's going to be just more Hellions straight up from Daishi. Did Muslim lose a Hellion? No, he just actually cancelled his Hellion from earlier, so he's only got the Widow Mine now going into a tech lab for the Cyclone. Is it going to come out in time, though? Because, I mean, we see the Hellions already starting to move across the map. We see the Medevac about to pop in, so he's going to load up all of these units in here. And, well, I guess he's going to try and elevate her up here. I mean, that is that sort of thing which this wall can be good at defending. The Muslim moving across the map at the same time. And again, you got to remember, the Muslim has that faster expand, but what does he have to really turn this away back at home? There's just going to be more units in the main base of Daishi than there is, or in the main base of the Muslim from Daishi than there is in the main base of Daishi from the Muslim. So that's something to take into account. One Marine here just to take down that SCV. I like it. Astri right now, I mean, we don't see anything apart from the Viking from both sides. A couple of Marines from the Muslim. His Cyclone's on the way, and he knows that's what he's got to start trying to buy time for. This Widowmine needs to try and burrow, and the Muslim needs to just try and get as much done as he can with this. We're going to see, actually, he's going to kill off a lot of SCVs. 11 workers already killed. I mean, it's going to be a similar story on the other side of the map. The Muslim going to start pulling his SCVs into this, and you can just see it's a massacre from both players. Viking will land. Cyclone comes out, locks onto a Hellion here to begin with. More SCVs pulled in, trying to help fight. As we see 22 to 18 workers killed. It's 7 workers, 6 workers apiece. It's genuinely going to be so close. We see this Viking is just going to survive from the Muslim. 4 workers to 6, 5 workers to 6. But you know what? The Muslim's going to force the cancel on the command center. And so the Muslim comes out of this in a situation where he is going to have his command center finished, morphed into an orbital. He's got double mule, and he'll have more SUV production. The Muslim, I think, comes out of this in a better position. We look at the units tab. He's also up a Viking, down 3 Marines. Well, that can fix quickly. He doesn't have a react on the barracks yet, though. But Daishi has no real weight. Well, he's going to go into kind of another medevac, but I think realistically, you look at the Muslim's units, and he has what it takes to kind of fight against any sort of aggression from Daishi for the near future. And let's see, I'm not building anything else just yet. A tank would be actually really nice. He's got the gas for it now. Might be a really nice way to go, as we see 2 Cyclones, okay, from Daishi. So maybe this is going to be a bit aggressive. The Muslim just has to defend. If the Muslim can defend against this, then he's going to be completely fine with the extra command center. So maybe even worth him just moving away in towards the main base and just holding his main base instead. We're going to see this Viking of Daishi going to run right into 2 Vikings of his opponent. Here comes this drop starting to move in. Daishi pulls back a little bit. We're going to see the Cyclones moving forwards. That's the Muslim. Realizing now there's 2 Cyclones out there. He'll land his Vikings. He will pull some SCVs forwards. He's ready to deal with this. He locks onto a Cyclone of his opponent. That's actually a little bit of damage. That might mean everything. As the tank pops out, he'll siege it on the high ground as well. And, oh, he's just going to use it on siege. Well, that works as well. Pulling SCVs in. He's still ahead in the worker count, so he can keep up with this. As we see the Cyclone's going to drop around, but now the Vikings will lift. Oh, they have to be careful, though. They're so low on health. But they actually see the Cyclones using the lock-on, as we're going to see them locking onto the SCVs. Not ideal. Medevac will go down, and so Daishi's aggression is about to finish off over here, as we will see a little bit of a mad chase. Vikings have to be careful, because then Cyclones can still shoot up without the lock-on. 4 more workers killed, but the Muslim still finds himself ahead in expansion, and that is going to be so important. As 2 Marines pop out, another Cyclone falls, and Daishi looks as though he might just be in a situation where he has to GG out down to base. Can't fight back from that. The Muslim will tie up this series for you. And let's introduce our players. 2. The bottom left-hand side. From Millenium, looking to put them back into the lead here, it is going to be Marine Lord. And in the upper left, we're going to have our purple town player from EURONICS Gaming. Let's see, guys, if you're cheering on the Muslim. TVT. Terran versus Terran for the 3rd map in a row. That doesn't happen all so often. And we will just be seeing Iraqs coming down from the Muslim after a gas. Marine Lord just with the Rax gas. So slightly different openings. Marine Lord right from the get-go looking towards that Reaper expansion. And again, something I was mentioning in one of the earlier games where if you take a gas first, you can still go Reaper and just expand with a faster factory afterwards. So let's see how this is going to go. See what's going to happen. As we just see the single SCV moving out onto the map. And just having a little bit of a look to see where his opponent is, and so on and so on. So SCV moving down towards the lower right hand side. Just going to be seeing what exactly is going on, trying to figure out where his opponent is. The Muslim is just straight away into this factory opening again. I wonder if he goes for the same build as last time, or whether he changes it up himself. I actually quite like the, the build Daisy just tried to do, the kind of Marine Hellion elevator. I actually quite like that build on this map, because I feel as though there's a lot of space over here for you to elevate it up in. That being said, though, Demo's with a depot over here right from the start. And that sort of means that he kind of has very good vision if so, an elevator like that starts to come in or something. So we're going to see Marine Lord, going to see his opponent not in the bottom left, has the Reaper, so we'll just send that to the top left. And of course, if he doesn't find his opponent there, then the Reaper will go towards the top right. But obviously just hoping his opponent's in the top left instead. This does mean both natural expansions are kind of exposed and very easy to hit from both players. If you fly up the left-hand side of the map or down the left-hand side, you're immediately going to find yourself at your opponent's natural base. So it'll be a little bit of an issue. As we see, this Reaper is in a little bit of an interesting scenario here, as we're going to see it picking off a Marine and an SCV. These two Marines on the low ground actually a little bit stuck, as we're going to see Reaper going for a third kill. And that's the second SCV kill now. He'll drop one more grenade, will fall to the Hellion, but well, some good information, sees exactly what's going on from Demuslim's point of view. And we'll see, Demuslim this time does finish up the Hellion, so does have that Hellion now moving out onto the map. And we're just going to be seeing him just pulling down towards this bottom left-hand side to kind of have a little bit of a look to see what he's going to be able to get up to. So, I mean, just scouting basically with this first Hellion in there is that now natural expansion starting to come in as well. So natural expansion starts up from Demuslim. You're going to see that Widowmine finishing. So exact same build as last time from Demuslim. So hopefully it does just as much damage now. Marine Lord is playing a little bit differently than Daisy did. Obviously there's expansion already finished. He expanded early. He's just going into a couple more Marines, going into Cyclone. And so realistically, we're not going to see Marine Lord move out before Demuslim attacks. So Marine Lord should have his units in position. He should have enough units to realistically turn this away without taking too much damage as well. As we're just going to be seeing this Hellion and a few Marines just collecting together. Let's see the Cyclone about to pop, and we're just going to see this Viking going to be coming out as well here in just another couple of moments. So yeah, a few Marines are going to unload here from Demuslim, and well, this attack does begin. You see the Hellion going down very quickly. It's the Widowmine, which is going to get unburrowed and reburrowed. The Widowmine actually burrows once again. Just going to get the SCV kill there in the end. There'll be a scan to clean it out. Doesn't quite. Oh, he does pick it up. Wow, that was pretty neat. So Demuslim saving that at the very end, and we'll get away with the medevac too. So Demuslim not a lot of damage done, but forces a scan, and it's a little bit annoying. He's going into kind of a Viking and a tank behind this and a third CC. So his method of kind of making up for the fact he hasn't done a lot of damage is going to just be to take a bit of a faster third base because he's got the map control. So that's what he's going to start to do here. Let's see how this continues. I mean, a few SCVs already coming down to the low ground. You're going to be seeing Demuslim with a Viking about to pop and another Viking on the way up as well. So more and more units just continue to come up here. And there is a cloak starting up on a Tech Lab starport, which means we are about to start seeing some Banshee play out of Marine Lord. So Marine Lord are going to go into some Banshee play now. So some Cloak Banshees on the way up, and well, we see a missile turret just finishing up here from Marine Lord as well. I mean, he's just preparing against potential Banshees of Demuslim. Again, Banshee follow-ups are very common in the matchup, so no surprise to see, well, at least Marine Lord kind of taking some caution against them. Now, that being said, Demuslim is already kind of saving a scan here, so very likely that he might just be saving scans ready to deal with Banshees, because he does have the Vikings to just scan and turn them away very quickly. So no need to kind of rush into turrets from Demuslim's point of view. I mean, Marine Lord just again playing a little bit safer. He doesn't have any kind of air control. He doesn't have the Viking, his own Vikings. So it's a bit more important for him to have a turret or so to kind of hold down these mineral lined locations and just make sure he doesn't take too much damage from this. So the first Banshee from Marine Lord begins to go across towards the upper side of the map. So Banshee on the way up towards the top side of the map, and again, just having a little bit of a look to see what's going to be going on. So Banshee on the way up here, and we're going to see the Marine from Demuslim and the Marine from Marine Lord kind of clash together, and actually Marine Lord is going to win that fight very easily. So obviously when you get the little bit of an advantage like that, no real surprise. As we see this Banshee of Marine Lord going into the main base, we're going to see a few workers starting to go down, but immediately Vikings come forwards, and Scan not going to kill that off though. It's going to get out of radius and time. So Banshee survives, forces a Scan. You see Marine Lord going into a little bit of a push down. He's actually very far ahead on army supply, 44 to the 28. And so Demuslim going to find himself trying to play defensively. He has got a couple of tanks up on the high ground. Banshee in a little bit of a frustrating position. There's another Scan to take it down. Next Banshee will head towards the natural here in the next couple of moments. Demuslim still, well, still not, no longer turretless. He does now have them turrets up to try and help him defend this. As we see that Banshee coming forward, so we're going to see 1 or 2 SCVs being picked away at. So again, just some damage here, some damage there. You will have seen this army out on the map because of that Marine on the upper watchtower. I was going to see the Banshee pulling back together as well. And yeah, just going to see Marine Lord again with this single Banshee. Just looking to see what he can get up to. A couple of Vikings nearby. Or I'm going to try and keep it away, of course. I love this turret with the tanks. It means that the Banshee can't just realistically come in and pick away the tanks for free. So I do like that. It's a cute little move, a cute little addition. As Marine Lord also has his own third base though, and that's now in location. And just in general, I mean, the Muslim is a little bit behind in terms of army, but he does have better tech. I mean, his +1 armor is already about to finish, and it's only 1 single engineering bay out of Marine Lord. From the Muslim, for example, his stim is almost about to finish, and Marine Lord is only just beginning. So there's a lot of possibilities here, as we see these Vikings looking for Banshee kills. And I see one Banshee running out of energy there. Both of the Vikings actually surviving for now, but neither of them actually able to pick up a kill towards the end of this. So just going to be seeing the Vikings pulling back. They'll get repaired up as well, of course. And Muslim also taking his third base, still 20 supply down, but well, he's definitely got ways back in. He's not out of it yet. TVT is definitely one of the matchups which can spin and turn on its head so easily, so quickly. And you see a Cyclone locking onto an SCV there, and Tank's going to see a jump. We're going to see the Muslim dropping down though. He only gets a pretty good set of tank shots to begin with. He's got Marines to stim forwards with, but he's got to still fight against these tanks, and that's going to be the issue. He's going to load up and immediately move forwards. We'll see Marine Lord will begin to unsiege his tanks, but he's going to be left fighting against Marines. Does he have enough DPS on the tanks? It looks as though he might. And Marine Lord is going to get away with 3 of these siege tanks in the end. Also killed 6 SCVs. That wasn't so bad for the Muslim initially. It was just the fact that he didn't have his Marines nearby to actually come in and fight. If he could have actually had his Marines nearby, he had stim, he would have completely crushed that. But unfortunately, the tanks do get away, and that's a pretty big loss. We see him continue coming towards the center. He's going to find himself another tank, and there's maybe one more too. I like that. Good trades here by the Muslim, picking off those 2 tanks. So at least making something out of this towards the end. Still 20 workers behind, and that's one of the main issues that he has to face up against right now, that he has to try and find a way back into this. As we see Marine Lord just pulling back towards that lower left side of the map, and once again just finds himself sort of setting up in such a way to kind of yeah, I mean, just setting up in such a way that he's going to try and defend here. Against, defend his advantage in case the Muslim sort of finds himself pushing across. So we'll see the Muslim just collecting together a few more Marines, tank, medevac towards the third, but I mean, Marine Lord again just pulling SCVs forwards, repairing on up. Still 17 workers ahead in this. Again, slight upgrade lead goes to the Muslim. And that's probably one of the only advantages we could find from him in the game right here. I mean, 3 bases up at peace to Muslim with less map control, considering Marine Lord has Marines on watchtowers and so on. The Muslim's rallying some SCVs, which is already behind him. Oh, sorry, they're Marine Lord's SCVs. They're actually rallying down towards the bottom right. Sorry, I'm getting mixed up with colours now. So, I mean, yeah, the Muslim's kind of in a situation where his upgrades are good, but not much else. So he's going to have to really rely on the efficiency of those upgrades. Better drop play as well, maybe. But I mean, he is just kind of behind in a lot of ways. The 4th base, for example, is a perfect example. Is a perfect example of how he's behind, because he just doesn't even have, I don't think the Muslims even thought about a 4th base just yet. So, considering he's down a 4th base and in workers and in army, again, it's very, very tough for him. So it really is just going to have to be reliant on a good engagement and those upgrades to maybe carry him through these kind of tougher times which he's facing right now. The Muslim continuing down towards the bottom right here. This medevac of Marines. You see another scan from Marine Lord, just going to spot a few Marines coming forwards, and the Muslim very quickly going to recognise here that Marine Lord has got quite a big army coming towards him. He does set up a couple of tanks, just in a bit of a siege tank line. Scans from either side, just keeping track of the armies. So the Muslim actually flies past a turret here, and takes quite some damage on this medevac while flying past, and run through, and again just trying to get a bit more done, but there's plenty of units back at home for Marine Lord to clean this up. And again, just both players scanning, keeping track of where their opponent's army are. Marine Lord looking to try and pick out an engagement which will help him to secure a victory in this game, and here it is. Going to stim in, and immediately 2 of the Muslim's tanks are just, well, dead. And he's got 2 more tanks which aren't really fighting. He begins to pull back into them now, but that actually just opens up the 3rd base. The Muslim just struggling to kind of hold these positions, and as Marine Lord is finding himself potential to push into kind of better spots now, because he's now leading by a 40 supply advantage. And again, a lot of that in the army. Again, the upgrades not really seem to kind of come through here for the Muslim. He does start his 3-3 on time, so again, the Muslim just hoping that upgrades and so on, just sitting back is, I mean, that's what he's kind of got to do. I mean, he's, it's like he's behind, and so dealing damage would be nice, but at the same time, It'd just be even nicer if he could just sort of sit back, max out, and maybe take a fight where he has 3-3 against, well, maybe just +2 armor or something. You know, just something like a slight advantage, find a good engagement with that, and just force his opponent to expend his bank, which he'll have built up in comparison to kind of, in comparison to Muslim's, you know, in comparison to the Muslim who's only just going to be maxing when he tries to take that sort of fight. And the Muslim can definitely try to stay in this, but again, it's going to be Marine Lord who's just looking for opportunities. He's still out on the map and just hunting around. He's coming up to being maxed out as we see a few tanks being loaded up. And to these medevacts, we see a few units stimming forward. He's going to try and position, but I mean, the thing is, Marine Lord can just set up so many strong positions, and he really can just control kind of the entirety of the map because he's out here, and of course he's got a 4th base behind this as well, so he doesn't have to worry about that at all, whereas the Muslim still does. And it looks as though actually Marine Lord's going to catch the Muslim a little bit off guard here. A lot of the Muslim tanks still out of position as they drop down now. Maybe they're just a little bit too far out of position still. No, the Marines will not be able to take advantage over that, so the Marines just going to be looking to push on in here again in the next couple of moments. I mean, again, Marine Lord doesn't want to run into a tank line, but he's trying to just slowly make something happen. He's going to put the tanks out over here. It's going to be a big connection on SCVs and Marines alike. As we see, Marine Lord just thinking about when he wants to attack into this. If he wants to attack into this, a few more Marines walk into the meat grinder that is this volley of tank shots. More reinforcements from Marine Lords just coming up to the top side of the map. Workers are beginning to go down, and the Muslim adds on a single Viking to try and give him some map control and some vision. That's about all he's got right now, as we see. The Marines having to hold position, just trying to minimize the damage. Trying to just hold this spot to Muslim. You can just see he has very little money, he is struggling to max out, he's on very low work count. There's Marine Lord, he's maxed out with a bank to spend. You know, he's very, very ready to trade here as Muslim is just sat back and on the way, just waiting for his death right now. As we see a few Marines, a little bit of a move command force there by Marine Lord, a little bit of a weird move. Probably would have been better off just finishing off that tank there in the end. I mean, he went over there for nothing eventually. As we're going to see. Muslim, how does he break out of this? I mean, what does he do? Begin to drop across the map? I mean, that's the thing. You drop across the map, you weaken this kind of position too much, maybe, and it's just going to be difficult. We're going to see Muslim taking a bit of a fight now. He pulls SCVs and he just clean out the tanks to the top side. Reality of the matter is, though, there's just so many Marines here from Marine Lord, and even down an entire set of upgrades, he just takes this fight, no problem at all. The Muslim takes the GG, and that is going to be Marine Lord with just, well, not today. They were just having a bit of a discussion now about today's kind of hot topic, which is that Queen buff. As we set up into this, the bottom left-hand side from EURONICS Gaming. Can he tie the series up once again? It's our red Zerg player. It is Nurture. And to the other right is going to be our blue Terran player from Millenium. Guys, let's hear some love if you're cheering on Marine Lord. Alright, so we kick things off into game 4. Marine Lord again is leading the series for Millenium. 2-1. Nacho looking to pull this back for EURONICS as we set off into this game. What was the song? There was 2 songs in the break. The first was Kill the Director by the Wombats. The second was the Rusted from the Rain by Billy Tanter. I keep fucking doing that. Fuck. I keep slamming my fingers into my desk with the arm of my chair today. I don't know what it is, but I've done it about 3 times. I'm pretty sure I've broken like 2 of my fingers. Oh my god. That was extremely painful for the 7th time. I've done it like 3 times during this cast. If you've noticed me suddenly go like, and just like not mention something, it's been that. I've been trying to, bloody how many times can I do that in a row? I sit here every day of my life. And yeah, I can't even not trap my fingers in my desk and my chair. Like, what even is that? God damn it. God damn it. Okay, I've let it out a little bit. Alright, game number 4, guys. Marine Lord versus Nurture here. And of course, it is best of 7 all kill series, so see how this is going to go as we see the Reaper on the way up right now from Marine Lord. So, setting up into this Reaper right here. So, Reaper about to pop. Boom. Let's follow it across the map, shall we? So, just follow the Reaper down towards the bottom left-hand side. You can see the factory starting up for Marine Lord as well, and, well, no real surprises just yet. We'll see what build he wants to go for. Obviously, again, we've been talking about that Queen buff pretty much all day long in the TVZs, and sort of discussing kind of how much of the kind of Terran aggression it sort of, not necessarily shuts down, but makes it easier to defend against a lot of the Terran aggression, which, of course, then leads into bit of a better early game for the Zerg, and then helps them kind of out through the mid game. Presumably, we're going to see this Reaper just kind of away. The few Zerglings here looking to try and just keep up with the Reaper. And Reaper, of course, just not wanting to die just yet. Third hatchery coming down from Nurture in the back of his base. Taking his low ground expansion first, gets him a bit better creep spread onto the map nice and early. And, yeah, I mean, it gets him a little bit better creep spread onto the map, but, well, I mean, yeah, just a bit creep spread. It keeps kind of makes it a bit harder for Marine Lord to maybe see the kind of third base timing as well. But that's about it. You know, a couple of different advantages. People generally tend to like to, people generally like to do this. I don't know what's wrong with my casting today. I was casting pretty well earlier actually, and but this evening it's just gone to complete shit. I don't know what's happened. Something's just gone horribly wrong because I'm just talking complete nonsense for the last however long we've been live, the last hour or so. God damn it. Sorry guys, trying to screw my head on correctly. I went and kind of jump around at the last break to try and make myself kind of think more clearly, but obviously it didn't work. So here I am. Just sat talking nonsense still. Then that's on the way down from Nurture, just looking to play defensively in case of any sort of aggressive opening from his opponent. It's actually going to be Marine Lord going for the fusion core, so I think we all know what that means. Yes, we do. A ranged lib is going to be on the way up in the very near future. Now, 8-range queens still don't reach those liberators, so it is still going to all be, it's still going to be about this. It's all going to be about from Marine Lord's point of view. This sort of, from Nurture's point of view, again, something that can shoot against those ranged libs up, so something like a Spire play. And it is why a lot of the time we do see Spire-based play on Dusk Towers. I mean, let's see how this plays out anyways. We'll see an Eva Chip is on the way up from Nurture right now, just a single Eva Chip, which is a little bit interesting for the ZVT matchup. We'll see the medevac just getting turned around pretty swiftly, so Marine Lord just going to back away with this Wood of Mine drop to begin with. And we do see that Advanced Ballistics starting on up. The Marines just kind of moving around, just checking for Overlords, wanting to make sure that he doesn't allow kind of any sort of scout to come in here for free at least. Wants to make sure that this is as hidden as possible for a little while, as we see here. Again, just the medevac just going to go over to mine, and whoa, Zerglings split up there, and only 4 go down, so it wasn't that bad. Marine Lord keeping everything alive though, which is of course pretty nice. Medevac just continue to move around from Marine Lord here, and well, I mean, Nurture still doesn't know about this ranged Liberator upgrade that's coming in, and it's a pretty big thing. I mean, it can change the entirety of this game, it really can. So, let's see, a couple of Engineering Bays being added on now for Marine Lord, so a couple of Engie Bays coming down. Let's see that Advanced Ballistics going to be finishing up very soon. As the medevac comes in towards the back of the third base middle line, we see a couple of drones starting to be targeted. Marine's going to lift up once again, and Queen just going to push that medevac away now, so Queen just pushing the medevac away. And, yeah, we sort of just see ourselves kind of sitting in a position where 4th base is going to be on the way from Nurture in a moment or two, but he still doesn't know about the ranged libs, so 2 Liberators start to move out onto the map, and well, Nurture only has a lair halfway done, so this really could shut down so much of the mining for so long here. Let's see what sort of position he gets himself into, as we see that drone did go down. Was it a Zergling? Might have been a Zergling. But either way, you're going to see the 4th base being denied for just a little while here because of that Wood of Mine. And actually, because of the later lair here in this game, Nurture is not going to be able to... he's not going to be able to get an Overseer out to deal with that just yet, as we see the ranged Liberator coming in. And well, do the Queens reach it now? I'm pretty sure they do not. Oh, they do. Wow. That's pretty sick. Misses a transfuse there, though, which is a little bit painful. We're going to see the Liberator just backing off a little bit further. Now the Queens can't reach it, but of course now it doesn't hit a mineral line, so it's a little bit more easily, or it doesn't hit a mineral patch, I should say. Liberator in the third base is going to pick off 4 more workers, so... I mean, Nurture taking some damage, but look at this big counterattack. Ling Bane going across the map. There's a tank coming up to the high ground, though. Nurture going to go for a very aggressive kind of counterattack here. Ling's streaming in towards the third base already, and they're just going to back off a little bit. One of these Liberators is actually coming back home. And we'll see. I mean, the tank going to be a big part of the defense here, of course, as First Billion starting to kind of sneak up in towards the third base already, and a couple of Banes going down to the Liberator. 4 workers being killed so far. Here we go, Bane's going to start moving forwards. Nurture will begin to split them up just a little bit. SCVs on the ramp are going to start going down. We're going to see 2 tanks continue to do damage, though. A lot of the Marines will fall. Nurture's counterattack here is actually doing a lot. That CC very low on health. As we'll see, Nurture backing away with these Zerglings. Doesn't want to stick around for too much longer, but has to be cautious because there is still medevac, so the tanks can still move around to some extent. This Liberator over here is still in a position where Nurture is not able to mine from this base because of it, so And he's mining from the 4th base instead. You see this Liberator going in towards the natural expansion now instead, as an alternative. I mean, we still actually see Spire is on the way up, so Nurture is going to get somebody to deal with this eventually, but yeah, until then it is very, very frustrating. This Liberator back in play as well now, a few more kills, and Nurture is a few drones ahead still, despite all of this. I mean, after that attack, he did kill off quite a lot of workers. I mean, workers killed on either side, 14 to 17, so counter-attack from Nurture did a pretty good job, I'd say. I mean, Eno's been trading very, very well, but I thought the counter-attack was okay, actually, but maybe I'm mistaken there. Maybe he didn't get enough value out of it. It's actually a very one-sided affair in terms of resources lost, so Nurture might be actually in a little bit of trouble here. I mean, the Liberator's denying a lot more mining. You know, you gotta remember that Liberator's denying this mining time. Now we've seen 13 workers killed as well. I mean, Liberators just keep coming in. There's gonna be Liberators all over the place here very soon. The thing is, as well, Nurture's about to go into some, like, you know, some Corruptor production or something to fight against this. And Marine Lords is going to go into kind of a Marine tank push, which Corruptors are, well, they're okay against, but they're not, you know, they're not going to add too much to the situation, as we can see the Queens. They pick off that Liberator over there, at least, which is something. I'm just going to be seeing another tank. Just moving forwards, just thinking about wanting to siege up here in the very near future, so... I mean, Marine Lord just continues to set up more drones being killed off as he actually comes in with this drop. It's actually a pretty cute drop because the Liberator kind of backs it up from a distance as well. You see him killing off a few more drones, another Queen goes down. It's actually really disgusting play by Marine Lord, who begins to move out onto the map. So begins to move out onto the map with the rest of these units, and actually the supply lead he's already got. I can see him just kind of cleaning up and winning this game from here as we see the Corruptors. They are getting rid of those Liberators which are out and about on the map, but one of those situations where you just sort of see kind of a Terran player just taking an early lead, and he really is making it work for himself. You can see this 4th factory just not being allowed to mine from this. Is why you can't take the 4th base over here. But Nurture was kind of pushed into this kind of earlier because of the delay on the base to the left side. That would have been actually still up over there. So I mean, Marino just played this out really nicely, honestly. I mean, he played it out so that he kind of forced Nurture into kind of a 4th base, which was punishable. He did a lot of damage to the Liberators. Nurture's just going to have to type out GG. Nurture falls to Marine Lord. And for now, let's go and game. By the way, I have a shout out to Inject Virus Mix, my man who's up for the 6th-month resub. Welcome back. For another month, let's see the message I heart to the chat as we kick it off into this best of 7. Game number 5. I just said it before, guys, and I'll say it again now. If you want to see EURONICS gaming go into the finals, it's time to start channeling your energy. It's time to start cheering for this guy in the upper left side of Arena. Guys, make some noise for Firecake. And to the bottom left, our red Terran player from Millenium. Can he take 3 kills for his team and put them into the finals? He was so close last time around. He was ahead against Bling in the ace match of Baguette against Dignitas Dead Pixels in Season 4. Can he do it now? Can he put his team into the finals? It is Marine Lord to the bottom left. And we have some very interesting builds to start us off. 3 racks from Marine Lord. He did this in the quarterfinals against Hydra on this exact map. Firecake, though, is opening gas pool. So already a pretty good start from Firecake. Let's see how this micro war is going to go down as we see this SCV coming in towards the upper left-hand side. Immediately, I think, going to be putting down a bunker over here. I mean, interested to see what Firecake's kind of plan is with this early gas pool. As he flies in, Firecake going to come in here. He doesn't see anything in particular just yet, but he is about to see that second rack. So now Marine Lord is figured out. And Firecake knows exactly what he is playing against. And his immediate response is going to be a roach run. Of course, he was manning gas from earlier in the game, so he's going to have a lot of roaches early. One of the ways that people like to deal with this nowadays is to just get rid of that expansion, start up the spine, and that's just going to go straight into the roaches. So we'll see how this goes. 8-range Queens. I wonder how 8-range Queens changes against bunker rushes. Probably doesn't change too much, right? Just means the Queens can be a bit safer picking off SCVs at a distance. Doesn't really change a lot, I don't think. As we see the first couple of Marines starting to come across this map, starting to get set up and ready to go over here. So, Marines joining up together. I'm just going to be seeing the SCV from Marine Lord continue to just move around, and again just have a little bit of a look to see what's going on. We see the Queen just picking up that SCV, so SCV gets picked away at, and we see a bunker actually going to be cancelled right now. So bunker gets cancelled. I mean, why not? I mean, there's no need to keep that one there. Keeps this one here, and it's just going to do the same job. He's going to start rallying his Marines back home. And, well, we'll see exactly how he wants to rally Marines. It looks like he's going to send some more across the map. First Ravagers on the way in to try and help break this bunker down and to kind of push through and out of his one base right now. As we're going to be seeing the first Corrosive Bile coming in. But, I mean, right now it's not going to break through it, so just got to wait a few more moments. There's another creep tumor coming down to start pushing this spine crawler down the ramp as well. We're just going to be seeing another couple of biles coming down. Plenty of Marines here to defend against Firecake if he does come down this ramp. Remember, guys, this is the tournament hope for EURONICS Gaming. They've been playing the last few months because of this match now. You know, they want to be here. This is the semi-finals. It's now or never. Single elimination. There's no second chance anymore. They lose here, they're done. And Millenium get into the prize money. They get into the finals. As we're going to be seeing the Ravagers. A couple more of them coming up now, and it's going to be a lot of damage onto that bunker. Getting to the point where it really is almost ready to kind of trade against this. But I love what the Marines are doing. They're trying to stop the Ravagers from really kind of pushing down here. This time we see Battle's hitting, but guess what? One of the Ravagers goes down. So Marine Lord's trading pretty well here so far. We see a layout on the way from Firecake as a response to this. Marine Lord is just sat here, waiting. Just very happy with the position. I mean, he's going into a starport back at home. He's actually got a tank on the way, so he's going to just reinforce this with kind of tank evac play. He's going to actually back away now with these Marines, just feeling as though it's time for him to back off. So another push coming soon, though, with the tank evacs. And that is going to be very interesting to see how it plays out. As you're going to see Ravagers dropping once again. We're going to see, well, Firecake coming down this ramp trying to get some more damage done here. He's going to cross the battle, and this time the bunker will go down. But no Marines killed. They're going to be able to get away. And Firecake will break down and start to take his natural hatchery. But again, difficult situation for him where he's got to play against a very aggressive follow-up from Marine Lord. I mean, Marine Lord's lost basically nothing, one SCV, and so he's got his entire army still to fight with here. As we're going to see these Marines just grouping together on top of the ramp, we're going to see this couple of Ravagers moving forwards, and well, we're going to see tank already firing, we're going to see a Roach already going down. So, Roach already going down as we see the Marines just setting up. And I mean, again, as this first medevac comes out, I think it's just time that he goes. I mean, he could just go with just the tank across the map, but I imagine he'll just go with everything because with the tank, you can just stop Firecake realistically continuing to come across. Spire drops down from Firecake off of the lair. Bit of a desperation move to try and get into the meters as a way to try and pull himself back in this game. As we see, I mean, to be fair, Marine Lord's still only on one base, so we've got to keep that in mind as Firecake begins to re-expand here. And well, this might just be the issue. The Marines pushing up, and these Ravagers are in a lot of trouble here. The Ravagers are going to end up just going down as soon as they pop. Two of them fall, and now one of them is segregated away from the rest. And Firecake and EURONICS Gaming's hopes of a final appearance in the SC2ITL Season 6 are beginning to fade away as Millenium. They're one of the teams we expect to do very well this season. They avoided Team Liquid up until the finals, and they are going to meet them